Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another live stream here. Welcome to JT Live. We're going to hang out for about hour and a half or so, and I'm going to be answering some questions from the chat, and we'll just have some fun. I got some things planned that I would like to talk about here tonight, so we're going to do that. And, yeah. Hello, everybody in the chat. Hello, Sweet Life of Dio Brando. Hello, Robert. Hello, Brendan. Hi, hey, and chat, how are you doing this afternoon? Made it to the sexiest live stream show. Oh, yes, you did. You may have noticed I finally fixed the music in that little starting soon screen. It used to have, like, sound effects that were left in it, and it was very annoying. So let's see here. Let me open up some stuff. By the way, it is actually cold here where I live today, and I'm pretty excited about that. I'm very much ready for the autumnal season. And so, because it's been like 80 degrees here for what seems like forever. Pinky up. So I'm very happy that it's getting cooler. I'm in the Midwest too, and I'm here for it. Fuchsia is here for it. She is here for the cool weather. It is supposed to get warm again though, like 80 degrees. So I'm not happy about that. But it's been like a dreary rainy day, and I've been doing nothing all day, which I feel a little guilty about, but oh well. I'll do stuff later tonight. After this live stream, I'm going to go ahead and get some Jimmy John's for dinner, and I'm going to have some of the Annie's tomato soup, and I'm going to watch Frasier reruns, because Frasier is back in season for me. I only watch Frasier in like the colder weather. So I'm pretty much on cloud nine with all of that. I was born in Nevada, so I've lived in deserts all my life. See, I need all the seasons. I need all 4 seasons in order to be happy. California has been getting Florida weather. Okay, well, let's see here. I am very unprepared for this live stream, which is ridiculous because I thought I would be very prepared, but I am not. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, God, what the fuck? I'm just a complete mess right now. So, we're going to first talk about, we're going to get into the Nintendo Direct predictions that I have. But first I wanted to, briefly touch on this news. It's not really news anymore. It's actually quite old, but we're going to talk about this. Let me pull it up. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. I'm using only one monitor to do this, so it's a little bit wonky. Have you guys complimented my eyebrows in the chat yet? Because if not, you're going to the gulag. Nintendo better have something good to show after months of nothing. It's been a very long time since Nintendo has had a real direct. I know they had like a partner showcase or some dumb crap that was stupid. And they had like a couple of directs that were specific to one game, but we have not had like a real direct since like February. So it's been insane that they've gone this long. Greg says you have great hair. Thank you very much, Greg. Whoosh. Classic Jimmy John's and a nice TV show on a Sunday. It's the way I do, Robert. Okay, so if you are a Nintendo fan, you may have heard about this. Let me see if I can pull this up without revealing pornography. Wait, how am I going to do this? There we go. So in case you guys don't know, there is a bit of news coming to Mario Kart Tour. Now, Mario Kart Tour is, of course, the mobile game that, you know, fans probably scoff at because of the gacha mechanics, where they, where they would charge you a bunch of money, and it's like you're playing this fucking game where you don't even get to decide what you're unlocking. Well, they're removing the gacha mechanics from Mario Kart Tour, so that will make it much easier for you to just buy the characters and karts that you like, you know, hopefully for a small fee. So I'm down with that. But most excitingly, they have announced they're bringing battle mode to Mario Kart Tour, which is interesting because it's like, how are they going to do that? The controls in Mario Kart Tour are not exactly like detailed. So like you're generally just moving left to right with your thumb to control the character. But a battle mode is like you go all over the place. Like you have total free roam of the arena. How are they going to handle those controls? I don't know. But I will say I am a huge fan of battle mode. I have been since like the Super Nintendo days. I feel like battle mode never fully gets the appreciation that it deserves. And so I am very excited to hear they're bringing battle mode to Mario Kart Tour. If they continue to update it with new stages and like some new ideas, I might actually play Mario Kart Tour pretty frequently. Because the battle mode in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe kind of sucks in some ways. I just want to play a balloon battle. I don't want to play the Cops and Robbers game. I don't want to play the Shine Sprite game, Shine Thief. I just want to play like balloon battle or coins. And you don't get to choose. It just randomizes it, which is really stupid. So hopefully this is just like a straight up balloon battle or a coin runners mode. But I'm excited. There were some leaks of what stages might be available. This comes out at the end of this month, by the way. They're updating Mario Kart Tour late September. And some of the stages that were rumored, because data miners found them in the files, are like DS Twilight House. I think the Cookie Land stage from Mario Kart Double Dash was one of them. I think one of the Game Boy Advance basic courses is one of them. Then they have like, unfortunately, they're bringing some of those shitty real life location themes into the battle mode. So like, I don't know, Sydney or New York or shit like that. They're basing some of the battle maps on real world locations that are, I hate that. But I am excited, and I hope that they do continue to pump new battle stages into Mario Kart Tour. That sounded sexual. But yeah, I'm actually excited for this news. I will definitely play some battle mode in Mario Kart Tour. Looking forward to it. Hope they don't screw it up. And we'll see how that goes. Now let me very clunkily go back. There we go. Hi. That was totally not an awkward transition. E3 being canceled gave them an excuse to not show nothing. Yeah, I mean, kind of, but kind of not, because pretty much every developer talked about things during the E3 season anyway. I think Microsoft still had their press conference and everything. So, Nintendo just sucks. Am I too late for woke Disney talk? Not yet. Woke Disney is going to be after my direct predictions. But we are going to talk about some woke Disney shit. Because I watched Pinocchio recently, the live action movie. And yeah, we'll talk about it. All right, let me open up my predictions. I'm kind of, you might notice I'm a little bit more slow. My head is foggy right now. I'm trying to get into it. I have a jacket on legitimately because it's cold. For those, God bless America. Gotcha or not, microtransactions are bad. Not really. If the game is free to play and it offers like tons of stuff to do for free, then it's not that bad. You know, Fortnite is free to play, and it's a massive game with a lot of love and attention to detail put into it. And for like $10 or $12, you can get the Battle Pass in Fortnite. And if you complete all 100 stages of the Battle Pass through that season, you will then have gotten enough free V-Bucks to buy the next Battle Pass without spending any real money. And if you keep doing that, you will get an unbelievable amount of content completely for free. So there are ways of doing microtransactions well. Couldn't care less about any Nintendo, iOS, and Android games. Not all real-world places were bad, to be honest. None of them were good. Am I excited for Mario and Rabbids? No. I liked the first game, but it got boring by the time I completed it, so I never finished the first game. I also think the concept of Mario being fused with the Rabbids has overstayed its welcome, and it no longer seems to have any real purpose. It might as well have just been all Rabbids or all Mario. Sonic Boom cartoon is legitimately great. I think I've seen some clips from that. Okay, so let's get into the Nintendo Direct predictions for September 2022. 2022? Yeah, 2022. Okay, so first up, I don't generally like to give credence to these cretins that like to spread rumors about Nintendo shit. These are just people that desperately want attention and desperately want to feel important, even though they are not important. They have no real talent. They have no abilities. They're sad, pathetic little betas who contribute nothing to real society. And they hide behind a fucking computer and Twitter and post about how, oh, my sources tell me that, and then all the stupid people who are just desperate for exciting news will parrot what they say, and then the stupid gaming vlogs or blogs, the gaming news blogs will repeat it because they want clicks as well, even though none of this shit really ever happens. Very, very little of these predictions ever actually come to fruition. Remember Star Fox Racing, everybody? They were so sure of Star Fox Racing. Where's Star Fox Racing? That was like fucking 4 years ago that we were being told Star Fox Racing is a thing. Anyways, so I digress. There are rumors that a Metroid Prime remake is in the works and that it's like finished and that it's coming. Some people were like swearing by it and saying that it's coming by the end of the year. I would like to see that. By the way, these are not so much my predictions because predictions are fucking dumb. It's really stupid to do a predictions video because you don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to do. It's Nintendo. They never do anything that's logical. There's no way to predict what they're going to do, so who cares? This is more of my Nintendo Direct desires. So, I desire to have Metroid Prime fully remade for the Switch. Now. I don't want some fucking lazy port. I don't want it to be like, look, it's Metroid Prime as it looked on the GameCube, but it's in widescreen and it's 1080p. Isn't that fun? No. That's lazy. I want it to be like the whole game was built from the ground up to have modern visuals, some improved controls, some improved audio with like the music and sound effects and stuff. Yeah, I want it to be actually remade from the ground up. And the rumors apparently are saying that it's just Metroid Prime, like the original Metroid Prime game. It's not the trilogy. Well, the trilogy was made for the Wii back in the day, and it was all 3 games, and they were like $50. You got all 3 games for $50, and they were all in widescreen, and they all had motion controls, which were good, like the pointer stuff. So that was like a genuine improvement to those 3 games, and it was only $50. So if you're like just selling me Metroid Prime 1 for $50 or $60, it damn well better actually be remade and not just looking like an HD GameCube game. That's the first thing I'd like to see. I'm to the point where I would actually like to play Metroid Prime again. I think I might own it. Do I? I think I do. I still own Metroid Prime, but I'm in the mood to play like a really beautiful version of it. Okay, my next prediction is, well, it's not a prediction, it's a desire. I want DLC for Mario Party Superstars so bad. Mario Party Superstars is going to be a year old next month. I kind of feel like after a year has gone by, we can give up hope on whether or not we will ever get DLC. I feel like we're probably already pretty far away from the release date to where DLC would not be logical. I know that it's happened. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe got DLC like 4 years after release. Yeah, but that is like a special situation. That's not common. So after this Direct, if we don't get any announcement about DLC coming to Superstars, I'm going to just give up hope and say that it's a fucking disappointment. But it definitely needs DLC. There's only 5 game boards. There are not really any good modes to play outside of just playing the boards. I really like Mario Party Superstars, but it needs more content. And it's this premise that's supposed to be like celebrating the history of Mario Party, and they do a good job of that kind of with the mini games, but they do a terrible job of it with the boards and the modes and the characters. Why didn't you go all in on that, Nintendo, you fucking cunts? Seriously though, why did you just release the game and that was it? Why wouldn't you be ready with like multiple packs of DLC? Fuck, I would pay for it. I would pay like $15 for like pack 1, pack 2. You put like 2 game boards, a new character, and like 10 new mini games and a new mode for like $15 or $20. That would have been great. But they didn't do that because Nintendo is run by monkeys. But yeah, Mario Party Superstar DLC. I really want that. Just because, why not? I'd like to see something Pikmin related. I think the most we could hope for is like they're going to take Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 2, put them on the same disc or the same cartridge, and then just be like, look, it's the Pikmin collection. It's Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 2 for $50 or $60. And they're literally just the ports of the GameCube game. I can see them doing that. And they won't be like visually improved or anything. I would hope that they would be widescreen at least. But I would say that's probably the more sane assumption. Because like Pikmin is something that Mr. Miyamoto loves. And it is like a thing at Nintendo. Pikmin is a Nintendo franchise that is bigger than most or more well-known than most. I mean, for crying out loud, they actually made Pikmin and put them in Super Nintendo World. There's a bunch of Pikmin hidden throughout Super Nintendo World. So clearly Nintendo still thinks about Pikmin. So I imagine that we will get, at some point, we will get the first 2 games in a collection and put on the Switch. Now, obviously, I would prefer that they be actually remastered to be the quality of Pikmin 3, like visually. That would be amazing. But I don't see that happening. But I want something Pikmin related that is of decent quality. The Pikmin mobile app is fucking terrible. What is that called? It's not Hey Pikmin. It's like Pikmin Go for a Walk. Pikmin Go. It's terrible. Abe, I've been sitting on the couch all day playing Splat. Abe, that's disgusting. Pervert. Everybody shame Abe in the chat for being a pervert. Pikmin Bloom. There you go. Thank you. Josh, I really want a new Mario Baseball, and I know Namco would perfect it, but after what happened with Strikers, it left me with no faith in Mario Sports. Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't even really... It's so weird. I'm such damaged goods when it comes to Nintendo that I'm not even really rooting for the things that I love anymore because I know they'll just be shitty on the Switch. So I'm just like, boy, I really like Pikmin 4, but I don't care anymore because I know it'll be shitty probably. Okay, so there is a developer called Goodfeel, and Goodfeel made they made Yoshi's Crafted World. That was the last game they made for Nintendo in 2019. So it's been about, 3 years since they made Yoshi's Crafted World. I think Goodfeel is going to have a game that should be ready to be shown. They traditionally seem to release games about every 2 to 3 years. So Goodfeel, a game from Goodfeel would be a logical bet in this September Direct, just because if you look at the company's history, they seem to have a Nintendo game ready about every 2 to 3 years. It's been 3 years, so I think they would be a safe bet. Why is this in my ear? I'm not even listening to any music. What the? Didn't Goodfeel help develop Wario Land games? Well, so Goodfeel made Wario Land Shake It for the Wii. They made Kirby's Epic Yarn, which is one of my favorite games. They made Yoshi's Crafted World. They made Yoshi's Woolly World. So they're definitely due for a new game. I mean, following the trend of them making 2D games, I am going to make a bold prediction, and this kind of leads into my next prediction. Again, they're not predictions, but I keep saying that for some reason. Goodfeel is going to be teamed up with Nintendo to make an all-new 2D Mario game. The next Mario game in the 2-dimension is going to be made by Goodfeel and Nintendo collaboratively, and it's going to be shown in September in this Direct. We're going to see the next big 2D Mario game. I don't know what it'll look like. I bet it'll look very pretty. It'll be like, oh, this is actually nice for a change. It doesn't look like New Super Mario Brothers. But I just feel like with Goodfeel, they've got such a lineup of 2D games. Nintendo generally likes developers to stick to doing the same kind of thing. And so I think that Nintendo might be like, hey, we've been throwing around ideas for what we could do next with a 2D Mario game. Because Super Mario Maker 2 came out in 2019? So that's been about the same amount of time. So I think Goodfeel was wrapping up development on Yoshi. Nintendo was starting to think of the next 2D Mario game. And they probably fused those things together to make a new game. I think it's going to be a new 2D Mario from them. Thank you very much. Your hair looks great, Mr. Krakowian. Appreciate that. So I'm ready for a new 2D Mario game that introduces a bunch of new mechanics, and it's fun, and it's pretty, and it feels like it's up to date with what 2D games look like these days. But I don't know what I would think of it. Like, I don't know what they're going to come up with. I haven't given it any thought. I just think when we see it, Mario will have like a bunch of new moves and mechanics that he hasn't been able to do in 2D before. But yeah. And I think that's going to be co-developed by Goodfeel. Next up, and this is my last prediction, I'm going to say that, and this is another one of those rumors, but this is more than a rumor. There is actual evidence to this. GoldenEye 007 is being remade, kind of. I don't think they're drastically overhauling the visuals, but it's being remade and re-released on the Xbox and Nintendo Switch. That's the rumor. We know that it exists because employees from Rare have been seen, their profiles on Xbox Live were showing that they were getting achievements for the game. And so we've actually seen like pictures and achievements. So it's a real thing. I think they could announce that in the September Direct. I really want that. And I think that would be a really good, are you going to wear tights soon? When is the next time I will be wearing tights? Oh, yeah, I have some costume. I'm doing a costume video for Halloween, 2 of them. And that'll probably be when I'm wearing tights. Because a couple of the costumes are tights related. Current Rare does not really suck, actually. They're pretty good. You know, Sea of Thieves is a very good game. And that's mostly what they make. So, I don't know. I don't really agree that Rare sucks now. You might be able to say that those generic sport games that they made on the Kinect were stupid, but those seemed competently made. It was just Microsoft demanding that they make those. I don't know if we can really blame them for that. But yeah, I really want gold. I mean, I think it would be like a holiday release, and it would be digital only. And it would focus on like online multiplayer, which would be amazing. Being able to play the original N64 GoldenEye game, and they polish it up and they make some changes to modernize it in a few ways, just a little bit. And then it's, online play. I think that would be really, really neat.
Especially for old geezers like me who remember playing the game back in the day.
But playing that online during the holiday season would be really fun, during the Christmas season. So, I mean, that's coming at some point, unless they just totally canceled it, which I don't think they would. But like I said, we know that's a thing because they were getting achievements for it on Xbox Live. So, and I would imagine that Nintendo would get it as well. Nintendo and Microsoft made a deal that said, okay, it comes to the Switch and it comes to the Xbox. One of the companies, or maybe both of the companies, have to pay for certain legal rights. Because the thing about that game is obviously it's based on a movie. So it's like you got to go through the people that own the movie, and then you got to go through the actors. They get paid because their likeness is in the game. It's a whole thing. So I'd imagine Microsoft and Nintendo maybe work together to cut through those legal fees and stuff. It would be a success, but I would like to see that. So recapping very quickly, for the Nintendo Direct that is supposedly happening very soon, this September 2022, my direct desires are Metroid Prime being totally remade and looking gorgeous and coming out maybe this holiday season. That would be good. Although I don't know if it would come out this holiday season. Mario Party Superstars finally getting some genuine good DLC. That would make me very happy. Some kind of Pikmin thing that has, some love put into it. Maybe it won't be Pikmin 4, but I'll take a port of I'll take like a collection at this point. Goodfeel is going to be making the next 2D Mario game, collaborating with Nintendo's team. And then also GoldenEye 007 is finally going to come to the Xbox and the Switch. Those are my predictions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've only made 5 of them. But you know what? That's a healthy amount. Also, Mr. Miyamoto is going to announce that he's retiring. No, that's not going to happen. I do not have I do not have a Twitch channel. Josh, have you seen Cobra Kai? I have not. Rare and Retro Studios are way better than Next Level Games. Well, I mean, yeah, that goes without saying. 2D Mario better change compared to the new... Yeah, I don't think the new 2D Mario game is going to be like New Super Mario Brothers. It won't be a new Super Mario Brothers game. It will be like a totally new thing. It just feels right. It feels like it's the right time. Trailer for the Mario movie. I don't know if we'll get that anytime soon. That could maybe happen at the Game Awards. I could see Chris Pratt coming out at the Game Awards showing the Mario movie. It's funny because as much as I really don't care about the Game Awards, it's this weird thing where I just find it so incredibly cozy and I actually love it. I have this weird... Because it happens in the Christmas season. It's in December. So my house is all decked out for Christmas and I have all my Christmas lights on and I ate my dinner and maybe I'm soaking in a bubble bath and I have the Game Awards on my TV and the Game Awards go on for what seems like fucking 6 hours. So it's like, it's just always there in the background. And I find it to be such a weird Christmas tradition at this point. And even if they don't announce anything, there's always some kind of cringe or something funny that's entertaining. So yeah, I don't know. The Game Awards is weirdly Christmassy to me, and it's become a tradition. And like I said, I love that it's like fucking 3-4 hours or whatever. Never cut that down, Jeff Keighley. Keep it that long. But I think that maybe the Mario movie could be shown at the Game Awards. There's some rumors that the Mario movie is kind of going through development hell. Like it's going to get delayed again. Because it was delayed till the springtime. And now there's rumors saying it's going to get delayed till the holiday season of next year. Mainly because I go to the gym and around the same time it happens. Oh, wait. I may watch the Game Awards. I haven't been able to. What is my exercise routine? So today is Sunday, which is the day that I don't actually work out. I give my body a break, which it definitely needed it. The past couple nights of jogging have been a little bit harder. I found that I was kind of a little burnt out about halfway through. But I jog 6 days out of a week for an hour a night. I go from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock at night. And then afterwards, I eat dinner. And so that's 6 days a week. I jog for an hour. And then every other day, I do 300 crunches. And every other day, I lift. You know, I have like a bench, like a basic bench. It doesn't have like 200 pounds on it because I do a lot of reps. So the amount of, I don't even know I can't remember how much is on my weight bench. But I do 7 sets of 22. So I'm laying on the bench and I do 22, and then I get up and take a breather. I get back on, do another 22, and I do that 7 times within about an hour. And then I also have just like 20-pound weights. I think they're 20 pound, 2 of them, and I lift those just to give me a little bit more variety. And that's every other day. So like if Monday is like just the free weights of 20 pounds, and I do 8 of those. 8 reps of 25 of those. So I might do that on Monday. 8 reps of 25 with the 20-pound hand weights. Then Tuesday, I would do crunches. Then Wednesday, I would do the weight bench. And then Thursday, I would do crunches. And then Friday, I would do, it's the way I go. I alternate with the lifting. I'm not trying to get like huge arms. I don't want like huge arms. It's time to start Luigi's Mansion again. Almost, my boy. I'm going to be doing a video review for Luigi's Mansion this year. I'm excited to do that. £20 is nothing, man. Fine if you don't want to bulk. Well, yeah, I don't want to get bulk. I want it to be more cut. And it's 20 pounds. It's 20 or 30. I don't remember what it is. They're not down here. It's 20 or 30. And I'm doing both of them at once. Do you run in running tights, L? What? No, I do not. I generally don't run in jogging tights, but I do own about 17 pairs of them. I usually just run in like a pair of Adidas shorts. Any Halloween vibe games you recommend? I can't answer that because I'm doing a video actually of exactly that, talking about the games that I play during the Halloween season. So stay tuned for that. Did you ever get around to playing Luigi's Mansion 3? I'm slightly curious since I beat the original for the first time last year. No, I've never played Luigi's Mansion 3. I watched the whole game get played in a Let's Play on YouTube, and I know everything you need to know about the game. I don't like the game. Rayman says, I love running. Have you heard of Pumpkin Jack? That's a video game, right? If you're talking about what I think you're talking about, I have seen that. I do have that downloaded on the Switch, actually. I haven't played it a lot, though. Do do da dee do do do. What's going on there? What is my favorite species of fish? Goldfish. Did I miss your predictions, or are we still? You missed the predictions. You missed them. You missed it. Costume Quest, that gives me some really good Halloween vibes. Yes, I do have Costume Quest on Steam. I have not played much of it, though. I just like running around in the little town. I don't like when the game gets started and it brings you into like a mall and all these other settings. I just kind of like the beginning of the game when you're in the little town and the vibes are perfect. What were your predictions? Can't you guys rewind the live stream? Isn't that an option? Or did I turn that off? Prediction, Little Mermaid for NES remake with updated race. Yeah, I got Costume Quest for like legitimately, I think it was like $1.99. It was really cheap, or $5 or something. So, I had to get it. Okay, let's go into my, let's go into my review of Pinocchio for Nintendo Switch. No, for Disney Plus. So, as some of you might be aware, Disney is continuing their tirade of making live-action versions of the classic animated films that they are known for. Although at this point, so much of these live-action remakes are CGI that they're not... I just realized I did this behind the microphone. Live-action remakes, so much of it is CGI and made on computers that it's not really live-action anymore. But Pinocchio is pretty stupid. The movie is like... The problem the movie has is, why does this exist? The real Pinocchio movie is on Disney Plus, and you can just freely watch that. So why would I watch this crummier version of Pinocchio when I can just watch the actual version? The movie feels like there's no plot. It just seems like, oh, there's a puppet, and he turns into a real boy, and then he gets into a bit of trouble, and then it's over. There's not much going on, which I can sometimes appreciate in something. All right, let's actually get into it, though. So there's some things that are shitty that sort of really bring down what could have been an okay movie. Number one, there's a scene where Pinocchio, and I'm not kidding, there's a scene where Pinocchio is investigating shit, actual feces on the road. I'm assuming it's some sort of livestock feces. It's clearly not human. But it's like a clear HD shot of Pinocchio right by shit. And the camera's like right there on it. Why is that there? Why? You're like, oh, we're going to remake Pinocchio so we can do some things that we didn't get to do in the first movie. Okay, well, what should we do? Well, we need a scene where Pinocchio is investigating horse shit. Why? Why does Disney approve of that? I mean, I know why. Disney has no morality anymore. But there's a scene where, like, Pinocchio's like, oh, hi, diddle-lady. And then he's like, oh, horse shit. He doesn't know what it is. He smells it, and then he's like, oh. And he, like, goes to touch it. And it's just like, and this scene seems to last way longer than it probably should. It shouldn't be there to begin with. But it's like it's not like a 2-second gag. There's, like, multiple angles. So that's the first thing that's a little bit like, wait a minute, what? Oh, okay. The other thing worth pointing out that I did not like. So Geppetto, by the way, Geppetto is played by Tom Hanks. It's, I'm not going to go there, but I think you know what I'm saying. Tom Hanks is somebody that is, I don't know what to think of Tom Hanks. There's a part of me that wants to love this guy. But then there's another part of me that's like, something's going on here. Something is going on here with Tom Hanks. His character's kind of okay. Not great. The whole movie feels a little awkward. But anyways, as you know, Geppetto has a bunch of clocks. And in this version, of course, because it's the year 2022 and you need to inject references to everything in every movie, the clocks that Geppetto has, about half of them are themed to Disney movies that wouldn't have even come out yet, by the way, but we'll ignore that. So there's I think there's Beauty and the Beast. There's Snow White. There's Woody from Toy Story. Ha ha ha, get it? Do you fucking get it, you ingrate? It's Woody from Toy Story, and it's Tom Hanks as Geppetto. Tom Hanks is Woody. We're funny. So yeah, there's a clock where Woody comes out on Bullseye, and it's just like, oh, that's funny. And it's like there's 2 instances in this movie where they show cameos in the clocks, and it's like a close-up thing. It's not like it's in the background blurred out. It's the same thing as the shit. Like, they really wanted you to see it. So they do all these boring ass, like, Disney clocks. I think it's Winnie the Pooh, one of them. I don't know. But it's like, okay, I rolled my eyes the first time they did that. They do it again later on with more references. And it's just like, who's the person that gets excited by this kind of shit anymore? And again, like I said, it doesn't really even make that much sense because isn't Pinocchio Disney's first full-length animated movie? So obviously Toy Story wasn't a thing yet. Snow White wouldn't, I know did Snow White come after Pinocchio? Again, this is not that important, but still, it's a little bit like, I guess you could say the stories for those existed, like the characters and stories existed, so maybe that's it. Now let's talk about the controversial thing where I'm going to be labeled as a racist. This is what you guys come here for. This movie is very clearly trying really hard to inject black people everywhere you look if you start looking for it. Actually, I don't even think you need to look for it. Before we begin with the discussion of why are there so many black people in this Pinocchio movie, I'm going to do a Google search. Where does Pinocchio take place? Because is this like, where was Italy? Okay, Italy. That's what I thought, but I wanted to get it correct. This is like Italy in like the 1800s, right? Isn't that when Pinocchio takes place? Not a lot of black people in Italy in the 1800s. Yet a lot of the people that are just citizens walking through the town are black. So there's a little lineup of kids going to school, and the teacher's a black woman. There's a scene where a seagull flies into like a restaurant or something, and the waiter is a black guy. He's like, whoa! There's like multiple scenes where there's just black people, and it's like, this is not historically accurate. I know you could be like, it's a movie about a wooden doll that comes to life, Josh. You want to talk about accuracy? Yeah, I do. Because Disney cares about being culturally accurate in like everything they do, unless it has white people in it. If it's a culture that has traditionally light-skinned people, then, oh, fuck that. We can just put anything we want in here. But if it's like Coco or Moana or the Black Panther, you can bet your ass they're going to go to great lengths to make sure you're not seeing whitey in any of them background scenes. You're not going to see Asian people skipping around in Coco. You're not going to see white people in Moana because it wouldn't make sense, because it's not culturally or historically accurate. But whenever it's a movie that takes place in Italy or France or Germany, then, well, that's traditionally light-skinned people. Fuck them, they're the devil. Bring all sorts of diversity into the movie. So you can clearly see that they very much wanted to make sure they cast as many black people as possible in this movie. It's funny, I haven't even mentioned the main one. So the Blue Fairy is a black woman in this movie, which is a little weird because obviously the Blue Fairy is a white woman. She's a fucking very white woman. She has like blue eyes and blonde hair and really light skin. But in this version of Pinocchio, she's very much a black woman. She also is really awkward when she's acting. And by the way, why not at least get a beautiful black woman? The woman they got is bald. They got a bald black woman. Why wouldn't you get a black woman that's like gorgeous with beautiful hair and, you know, why would you find one? Because I guess that's the problem. You have to keep going more and more woke. So it's like, hey, we're going to cast a black woman as the Blue Fairy. Okay. But that's not woke enough. She needs to be like even more. Can she be in a wheelchair? How about the blue fairy's in a wheelchair? No, we can't do that because she needs to fly through the window, and that would be too hard for the animators. Okay. What else do we got? She's bald. Beautiful. Got it. Bald black woman. See what it is? It's like they keep pushing this further. Now, before I started this rant, I definitely made sure to Google it and make sure that this actress does not have some sort of disease like cancer or something that made her lose her hair. And I'm pretty sure that's not what's going on here. She just chooses to be bald. So again, if she has some sort of illness, holy shit, I apologize. I deeply apologize. I'm not interested in, making a joke about that. But I looked into it. This is just is she a singer or something? I don't know. She's bald. She chooses to be bald. Why? And when you hired her to be the Blue Fairy, why wouldn't you have been like, okay, but we're going to have you wear a wig because it's just weird that you're a bald woman playing the Blue Fairy in Pinocchio. So she also doesn't act very well. The way she acts is kind of weird, like her facial expressions and stuff. She's terrible for the part. Like I said, if you're going to get a black woman, okay, but get one that like fucking acts the role well. There's also, and I think this character was added, I've not watched the animated Pinocchio all the way through for a long time. I sort of skimmed through it on Disney Plus a little bit. And I did not see this character anywhere, and I didn't think that she was in the original. There's a ballerina character, like a human, and she's like a puppeteer. She performs a ballerina puppet, and she too, I'm pretty sure, is a black girl. She's not white. She's brown or black or something. So, first of all, ballet is a Russian thing. Ballet is a fucking white people dance. It's like if you looked at Africa. There's a lot of dances and things in Africa that are not really white people things. So if you were going to make a movie that had them things in it, you wouldn't cast a white person to be doing some sort of African dance or some sort of Chinese related dance. And I know ballet is an international thing, but if you're making a movie that takes place in Italy in the 18th century and you're putting a character that's a ballerina in it, it's even more absurd to make her a black girl. It doesn't make sense. It's stupid. And I know that it doesn't make sense that Pinocchio is a boy that's fucking made out of wood and talks, but still, again, we're trying to make Disney follow their own rules that they created. So that's also weird that it's like, okay, we're going to do... And then there's like a third... Who the fuck is the third character? Every human female in this movie that is not just some grubby-looking crowd member or something is a black woman. It's bizarre. So yeah, Disney's desperate attempt to look as woke as possible is just brimming brightly with ignorance at this point. They're not even hiding it, that they're just purposely not casting white people in every possible movie. And like I said, if you want to put some black people in stuff, cool, but fucking do it decently well. And don't make it so clear that you're not trying to cast white people. Because you clearly are trying to not cast white people, Disney. Disney is too woke. She's queer. Who's queer? At least in Canto, they remembered white Latinas exist. I love you for being so politically incorrect. I don't care anymore. I think once you reach the point where you don't care, then you're just like, I'm just going to say what most people are thinking. Give me all the shit you want. I will listen. I swear to God, I believe in loving all people. I follow the Jesse Lee Peterson way of life, which is if you don't love everybody, you love nobody. So I firmly believe that I love all black people. I love all white people. I love all Chinese people. I love all Indian people. And by the way, in the way that the world has gone today, we're the fucking only hope for humanity. Like, caring about your fellow man is something that's going to be very big in the future because the government is getting beyond tyrannical and they want us to hate each other. So don't fall for that trap. No matter what your race is, no matter what your gender is, no matter what your sexuality is, don't fall for the bullshit of hating each other. But it's very clear that a lot of companies like Disney are purposely pushing this woke agenda, and it's bullshit. If you're going to say, oh, the Blue Fairy in Pinocchio is going to be a bald black woman. Oh, and we're going to add a ballerina character and she's also black. Oh, and this and that. Then you need to do that for Mulan. And you need to do that for, all the movies that don't have light-skinned people. But of course they don't do that. They just announced recently that they're making a new Peter Pan movie for Disney Plus. It's a live action movie, so I don't really care that much. Those generally suck. And wow, it's called Peter Pan and Wendy, first of all. Peter Pan and Wendy. What does that tell you about the direction of the movie? It tells you that Wendy's going to be this strong fucking kick-ass warrior. They need to rewrite this story because in the original Peter Pan, Wendy acts like a girl. Wendy acts like a younger girl, so she's not interested in sword fighting or kicking ass or any of that stuff. That's a problem nowadays. We have to completely rid the world of femininity because femininity is evil. Unless, of course, a male wants to act feminine, in which case then it's amazing and yes, queen. But we can't allow a young girl to act like a young girl like she did in the original Peter Pan. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a new Peter Pan called Peter Pan and Wendy. And Wendy is now going to be like the star of the movie because she's going to get a sword and she's going to save the day and she's going to kick ass and she's going to fucking rape Captain Hook. She's a boss now. Wendy's a boss. She doesn't take no shit. I guarantee you that's what's going to happen in this movie. And here's another great one. Peter Pan. What does Peter Pan generally look like? Maybe a little bit like me, but younger, right? This kind of skin color, red hair. Peter Pan is not white in the movie. Surprise, surprise, another white character that Disney is recasting as a dark-skinned character. He's not black, but the boy that they're getting to play him is clearly not white. Why would Peter Pan not be white? The story of Peter Pan is British as fuck. Peter Pan is a very British story. So why would you not be like, okay, Peter Pan, get a white kid? Oh no, so it's like every fucking movie Disney makes, they're recasting big white characters as being, like, when I say big, I mean like famous, huge, iconic white characters as being dark-skinned. And if they did this a couple times, and it was kind of like spread out, like one, the year 2019, they did it in some movie. The year 2024, they did it in another. But then there's just like a lot of harmony and like, it's not constantly done. And you sort of do it where it maybe makes a little sense or could be fun. Then that's one thing. But they're doing it constantly. So it's no longer just a creative decision, or it's no longer just to like, throw a bone to some actor or something. They're trying to do it on purpose because they have a strong dislike for white people. That's why Disney's doing it. It's not a coincidence that every fucking movie they make is not casting white people. Then, of course, you've also got Snow White. That's coming up. Snow White, her skin was as white as snow. Isn't that the fucking lyric? With skin as white as snow. Well, Snow White now is black. Or brown. I don't know if the girl is black, but she's dark-skinned. How do you make a live-action Snow White? This was like your one time to prove that I'm an idiot, Disney. You could have proven that I'm just full of shit and made Snow White white because it's Snow White. And it's a German tale. But no, Snow White is fucking brown. Why? Why? It makes no sense. And then when you look at the upcoming Little Mermaid movie, Little Mermaid is, of course, black. Why? Everything Disney does now is just take white characters and make them black, have some predictable, shitty version of a story that we've already seen, and then anybody who doesn't like it is a racist. But what about people that are black that don't like it? I've heard black people talk about how they think Black Ariel is stupid. Just like if you made the Black Panther and you put a bunch of white people in it, I would say, that's dumb. Why are you putting black people, or why are you putting white people in a movie that's supposed to be like based on African type culture and stuff? It doesn't make sense. So that's the problem that I have. It's like, okay, you want to be woke and you want to force diversity in areas where it doesn't make sense, but then do it all over the place, Disney. If you made a live action Coco movie and one of the main characters is white, I'd at least say you're consistent. It would be stupid to do that. But I'd at least be like, I guess this is just what Disney does. They just believe in casting the roles to anyone, But they don't do that. They only do it when it's light-skinned people. Also, I find it really stupid that people act as though there's not diversity just because somebody's skin might be this color. Because there's tons of diversity within light skin. Like I've mentioned before, Italy, France, Germany, Sweden, Poland. These are all places, there's many more, I could go on. These are all places that have a population that would have skin color that looks like mine. But they'd be drastically different from one another because their culture does not rely on how dark or light their skin is. Culture is not about your fucking skin color, but Disney seems to think it is. Now, granted, if you're making like a period piece, if you're making a piece that's supposed to take place in like 1826 in Germany, yeah, it doesn't really make sense that you'd have a bunch of black people walking around in it. Disney's fucking stupid. So many people are morons. Some people are, I think, aren't there not even dwarfs in the live action Snow White? Because that's not progressive. Apparently it's not progressive to give a bunch of little people jobs. Can you imagine if you're a little person and you're an actor and you're just desperately struggling to get work, and then you hear about a live action Snow White happening and you're like, oh my God, this could be like a chance for me to get into a film. And then it's like, no. We're not going to hire you because we're not having the dwarfs in the movie. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs does not have dwarfs, and Snow White isn't white. What the fuck planet are we on anymore? But yeah, that's my rant. Enjoy it. Enjoy it, internet, because I stand by it 100%, because I'm actually right. And like I said, if Disney did this for all the movies, then it would be a different story. It would still be stupid, but at least you couldn't accuse Disney of being racist. But they don't. Remember when Frozen 2 came out? And I never saw Frozen 2, so I don't know if this was a main character. But in a lot of the promo stuff for Frozen 2, the trailers and stuff, there's like some black guy that was being promoted as like a new main character. Isn't Frozen based on like ancient Norway? It's like ancient Norwegian culture. Not a lot of black people in Norway. Maybe nowadays there could be some black people in there, but that doesn't mean they're a part of the like history and the fairy tales. And that's another thing, like people talk about culture and all that. Stories and art are definitely a part of culture in a society. So the story of Peter Pan is definitely a part of like, British culture. The story of Snow White, that's Germany. These are all like folk tales. So they're important to that culture. So if you're interested, Disney, which you claim to be, you should care about doing them correctly and not being like, okay, we need about 17 black people in every single frame of this movie that's based in Italy. Like I said, if they made a movie, that's the other thing that annoys me. If you want to make movies that feature black people, then make a black story. Look into African culture, look into that kind of stuff, and then tell one of those tales with black people in it. Make new characters. It's like when people are like, oh, they need to make a new Superman. They need to make a black Superman. What? Why? Why don't you just make a totally new superhero that's black? Make him or her cool and their own thing. Have fun with that. Then that's in addition to Superman and everything else. Why would you just race swap things? That's fucking dumb and lazy. And it's not going to be liked by most people because it turns out, and Disney knows this, people are very much attached to things that they love. They're attached to characters that they've loved all their life. So therefore, when you turn around and say, hey, Ariel is actually a real person now in this stupid live action movie, and she's black. What? That's not Ariel. Ariel is white and a cartoon and has red hair. And if you look at like that fucking trailer for The Little Mermaid, even just seeing the like really detailed, realistic version of Flounder, I was just so turned off. Flounder is this like chubby, cute little fish. But in the fucking trailer, he's like a realistic fish. And it's like, what the fuck? It's horrifying. So like imagine Sebastian. He's going to be like this realistic fucking lobster. Is he a crab or a lobster? I think he's a crab. But like we're going to be looking at like a photorealistic fucking crab talking like this, man. Although maybe he won't talk like that because that might be offensive now. But still, like, I don't want to see fucking realistic. It's just stupid. Get some new ideas, Disney, you morally bankrupt idiots. But yeah, if you start looking at it, Disney just constantly swaps white characters for dark-skinned characters. Muppets Haunted Mansion, which is a movie that I think is, like, I like it. I like Muppets Haunted Mansion. But one of the few human characters in that is the bride from the ride, Haunted Mansion, the bride that kills her husbands. And it's very clear that bride is white because the Haunted Mansion has a lot of like European influence on it. So is it a white woman who plays the live action version of the bride? Well, I guess she is live action, but no, it's not a white bride in Muppets Haunted. It's a black woman who's the bride in Muppets Haunted Mansion. It's like everywhere you look, they do this. And again, if it was just a couple times, it'd be like, oh, whatever, who the fuck cares? It's constantly. And it is because Disney is a racist fucking company and they're disgusting and you shouldn't give them your money. And if you do end up giving them some of your money, just like go into a store and break a bunch of Disney stuff without anybody seeing, because then they'll lose money because they can't sell that stuff because it's broken. But actually, don't do that. For legal reasons, I'm not telling you to do that, but that would be a thing you could do, but don't do it. Anyways, he's a lobster. Okay. If a black character was race swapped, the media would go nuts. Exactly. If you took Tiana and you made her a white girl, if they make and they will do this someday, when they make a live action version of The Princess and the Frog, if they were to change Tiana to being a white girl, oh my God, all hell would break loose. It wouldn't be okay. Why? Why would that not be okay, but making Ariel black is okay? Because black people are not represented a lot. Are you blind? Because black people are extremely represented in America. Go into a store, watch a TV commercial, watch a film. They're all over the place. What are you talking about? Black people are like only 13% of the American population, yet you will see them everywhere. If you walk into a store right now, you will see black people on advertisements, modeling clothes, you name it. There's no underrepresentation going on with black people in America. I promise you that. So don't even try to use the excuse of black people are underrepresented. No, they're not. That's a fucking bullshit story. Muppets Haunted Mansion is really good. I know, I do like it. I do like Muppets Haunted Mansion. It has some flaws. I think there's some scenes that drag on a little bit, but I do like Muppets Haunted Mansion. And that's the other thing. What is it about? Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, when they cast black women to play these roles, they're always really poorly acted. Again, why don't you just hire better black women that are better actresses? Why do you seem to go for the shittiest ones? So like the woman who plays the bride in Muppets Haunted Mansion, she does a pretty bad job of acting. She's not really a threat. She's kind of goofy and dumb. She plays the role as, and again, maybe this isn't her problem. It's probably, maybe the director wanted her to be like this, but she's not like sinister at all. She's very like dopey. It's like sort of mischievously dopey and flirt. It didn't work. She should have been more eerie. And I know it's a Muppet movie, so you'd expect it to be very ham-fisted or whatever, but still. You need your villain to pose a threat. She's the villain, so you can't have your villain acting like a clown. Because they don't see talent, they see black. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, if you're going to do this, then do it right and hire some people that are good for the part. Or at least hire people that have fucking hair. Unless, of course, the part calls for somebody who's bald, in which case then it would work. I just want the scales to be balanced. Like, it don't matter if your employee rate is more female, LGBT, black, as long as they're good at their jobs. Yeah, sadly, skill level is not really something that is used as a reason to hire a person anymore. I sinned! I bought Disney Dreamlight Valley. I don't know what that is, Ash, so I'm going to let you off the hook on that. I sinned as well. I did buy some new Haunted Mansion merchandise at Spirit Halloween. But yeah, I don't know. We'll move on to the next topic, but I would like to conclude this topic by saying this. It's great to make black people, it's great to take black people or Mexican or non-white people and put them in starring roles in movies. Cool, great. Here's the thing though. You're not hiring the best ones that have good talent and look the part or whatever, and you're not giving them roles that make sense for them. So if there's a unbelievably classic animated film like Pinocchio, maybe don't drastically cast them as being a fairy that was very clearly white in the original movie, because most people are going to find that to be off-putting and bizarre, not because she's black, but because the original fairy is clearly white. Maybe try making movies and stories with black people that are part of their culture, instead of just throwing them into light-skinned cultures, Italian, French, German, Polish, whatever. How about actually do black people justice and give them stories that are their stories? Oh, and as a final note, when you do that, maybe don't make it argumentative. Maybe don't make it like, hey, fucking white cracker ass motherfucker, your time's over. It's time for the black stories to begin. Fuck your stories. Fuck you. Sit down and make room for black people now. Maybe don't pose it as that. And yes, by the way, you do pose it as that. You should make it like back in the 90s. Like there were movies. Aladdin. When I watched Aladdin as a kid, I didn't even think of it as being like, oh, this isn't white people. I thought of it as like, hey, this is a cool story. I haven't seen this before. It's a cool location. You should do... It's like these fucking woke companies think they're doing black people favors by putting them in roles that were previously white people, but you're not doing them favors because they're just going to get a bunch of criticism for it from not just white people, all people. So why don't you do them a favor and actually put them in roles that are like good, interesting news stories? And by the way, you can do both, Disney and every woke company. You can still make plenty of white stories that are great, and you can make plenty of stories about black culture or Mexican culture or Asian culture that are great. It's not one or the other. You've got a lot of money. Trust me, you can do it. So there's my final pin in that rant. There will still be people that say I'm racist, but they're going to say that anyways. Moving right along. When are they going to recast Kermit the Frog as a black woman? That's what I'm waiting for. Fuck you, Kermit. Your days are over. Kermit is the definition of white supremacy. Get rid of him. He needs to be a black frog. And he needs to be a woman. No. Oh, wait, you're not. I was going to say, no, I'm not on Discord, but I just realized Demeech is not talking to me. Oh, yeah. Raph says, I say we need a white Black Panther. Hey, is this true? Apparently in the... By the way, this is another thing I'd point out. Apparently we're not done with this rant. So the Black Panther comics have existed for quite some time. But unless you were a comic book nerd, you probably didn't even know of the Black Panther. So you get all these people that are like really into the Black Panther because of the movie. And they're like, man, it's about time. It's about time we have a black superhero. And it's like, wait, huh? This character's existed for like fucking multiple decades and you just didn't know about him because it turns out you're a poser. And you don't really care about comic books or superheroes. You just like it because it's a popular superhero movie. So don't give me this bullshit where it's like, oh, you were just some poor black child desperately trying to find a superhero that looked like you. Yeah, bullshit. You were not. You didn't give a damn. Also, what is the other thing? The Black Panther in the comic books, doesn't the Black Panther have like a cousin or a brother who's white? Isn't there like a white superhero in the Black Panther canon? But then Disney's like, no, that thing doesn't exist. That guy doesn't exist. I read that the other day. I don't know if it's true. Where there like actually is a white superhero dude in the Black Panther's universe. And they're like, no. Get rid of that. We're not putting that in the movies. And again, hey, you know what? I don't give a shit. But it's like, again, there's already a character in this universe that's white, that's established, and Disney doesn't want that character around. So it's like you can't even be an established white superhero character in the black universe. Disney doesn't want that. But Disney will put black people in fucking 18th century Italy. People are saying the White Wolf. Yes, the White Wolf. Okay, the Black Panther and the White Wolf. So yeah. Black Panther existed 50 years before the movie came out. Wow, there you go. That's even longer than I thought. By the way, there are actually a lot of other examples of black superheroes. It's just the people that like to claim there's no black superheroes don't actually give a shit about superheroes. They just like to complain. There's plenty of black superheroes that you could be a fan of. Also, hey, here's a thought. Maybe you don't need to see your race reflected back at you in a movie or a TV show in order to enjoy it. When I was a kid in the 90s, I would watch TGIF, which was, I think it was ABC. It was like a series of shows every Friday night on ABC. They were very popular. It was like a thing to do with families. You'd eat dinner and watch ABC's TGIF. And that had Family Matters with like Steve Urkel. I think Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was on there. And when I would watch those shows, I never once thought, oh, these aren't for me. Oh, this is the black people show. I can't relate to Will Smith's character because he's black. I legitimately remember actually loving the characters in those shows and feeling like I belonged with them. I never thought like, oh, I'm different from them. I can't, like Will Smith, I always thought like, oh, he's cool. Like, I want to be like Will Smith. What is his fucking character? Isn't his name Will in the show too? But I remember thinking that, like legitimately being like, I looked up to him and thought he was cool. I didn't think, well, I can't be like him because I'm white and he's black. I remember even thinking the fucking grandma on Family Matters was like cozy. What's the grandma's name on Family Matters? I remember just being like, she's like my grandma. She's like my TV grandma. I never thought like, well, no, she's a black grandma, Josh. You can't get grandma vibes from her. The Jeffersons, fucking George is amazing. I love George. I relate to him. George is a Republican too, by the way. I love that. He's like a black businessman Republican. It's a fucking great character concept. There's so many black shows that to this day I still like and watch. I watch The Jeffersons, but I never looked at it as like, well, I can't relate to them. I need, give me white people. I can't relate to these characters. That's such a fucking dumb logic. Oh, you need to be the race of the person in order to look up to them or in order to feel inspired by them. What the fuck do you do when you're watching SpongeBob as a kid? Do you not like it? Because you're not a fucking starfish that eats too much? Oh, I don't like SpongeBob because I'm not a household sponge that talks, so I can't relate to the character. What the fuck? Stupid shit that we all pretend is important and deep down we know isn't. I love when I see like a trailer for like Encanto when that was coming out, and you'd see these losers leaving comments on the YouTube video that are like, representation matters. Finally, I feel like I'm valuable because somebody that has my heritage is represented on the screen. I never felt any self-worth until now. What the fuck is wrong with you? It is a cartoon for 7-year-olds. If you are getting your self-worth from a fucking cartoon that has the exact same race as you, you are pathetic. You should be able to identify with any race, even different genders. I think Samus from Metroid is a fucking awesome character. I love her. I mean, granted, I want to fuck her brains out. But yeah, the world is messed up. I'm taking over the planet. We're running things my way from now on. You fucked it up too long. Anyway. So there's a nice big hefty rant about race and as it appears in the media. I'm sure there's some hypocrisy in that rant, but people be like, well, if you don't need to see your race, Josh, then why do you care that the blue fairy is black? Because the blue fairy is white, and it's a German story. And if we're going to be historically accurate, and again, because Disney does this nonstop, it's not like one or two instances. They do this constantly. They're clearly pushing an agenda. Anyways, who else is excited to go to family-friendly drag shows? Those will be fun. I'm a minority and I 100% agree with you, Josh. Boom! I win! I've got one person in here that's a minority that agrees with me. No, I believe that humanity is more united and more unified than what the media wants you to believe. I think there's probably plenty of black people out there that look at the Little Mermaid live action trailer and they go, this is dumb, and I see why people would have a problem with this. And I think there's probably a lot of white people, you look at things that happen to black people or shit that happens to black people. when I see black people that dare to step out of the liberal Democrat political spectrum and they say, hey, I'm a black guy and I like Trump, or hey, I'm a black guy and I'm a conservative, they get shat on so much. There was a time on CNN where one of the anchors on CNN called Kanye West the N-word on CNN, not bleeped or anything. She just calls him the N-word because he dared to speak out against Democrats. That's fucked up. Black people aren't even allowed to be something different politically or socially than what society, when I say society, what I actually mean is the mainstream media and politicians have deemed that they have to be. They try to pretend like black people all have to think alike, like they're just one person, like they're one entity that's not capable of being an individual, which, by the way, it's not just black people that they try to do this to. They do it to gay people. They do it to trans people. They do it to everybody. They try to put us in these little groups so they can control us. And they put us in these groups because then they can tell one group that that group hates you and this group should worry about this group and that group isn't liked by this group. And they do that so that they can get away with fucking literal murder. They do that so that it takes the spotlight off of all the cretinous, insane things that they're doing. They're funneling money into other countries like the Ukraine, and they're doing insider trading, and they're having people murdered. The Clintons are murderers, by the way. They are murderers. Hillary and Bill Clinton have people murdered who have dirt on them. They should be in prison for life, but sadly they won't be. Sadly, they get a reality show instead. William, my boy, thank you so much for the super chat, dear. I appreciate it. Josh, just relax and put on a diaper on your latex Samus suit. Well, I told you that, well, maybe you weren't here. The Samus suit is damaged and it's too big for me. So I can't, well, I could put it on, but it's not, it's damaged. The diaper, I don't have one handy right now. That's for my OnlyFans. If you want to view paradise. Literally, my bisexual friend who literally said the Democrats are kind of acting dumb and literally got fucking panned. It was awful. The Democrats are acting dumb. That's the only way they know how to act. Bum, 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 bum. But yeah, there's transgender people even on like YouTube. Blair White. Blair White is not a Democrat. I don't know if Blair White is Republican or what she is, but, you know, Blair White speaks out against political correctness and all that kind of shit, and she speaks out against woke shit, and she takes a bunch of crap for it. I mean, there's a giant list of people that are not white and not straight who are speaking out against woke culture. They're speaking out against being Democrat and liberal in modern times, and they get shit on like crazy, and it's not right. It's messed up. She's a Trump supporter. Okay, good. Oh my God, damn, you got skinny as fuck, and no, I'm not trolling. I'm just into that. Okay. I did lose weight. Look at the face. Look at that. It's a pretty good face. It's funny when I look back at some videos from the Bit Block back in the day, like 2017. I look so fat. It's depressing. Fat, useless, stupid Josh. Blair White got assaulted for wearing a Trump hat. Yeah, I think I seen that. I think I seen that video. Cheekbones. We need Fat Josh to return. Fat Josh is never returning, honey. Weight loss has been a way of life for me. It's been like a life-changing thing. I feel like at this point in time, I wouldn't be able to not go jogging every night. It's a time where I listen to music, I get inspired for ideas with projects I'm working on, get fresh air. I couldn't not work out. Chip Chap Chop is a minority that loves me, I think. Chip Chap Chop is stuck with me for many years. Abe is multiple minorities that love me. He's like a trifecta. We got sexy Josh now. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Actually, I'm taking this jacket off. It's gotten a little hot. You guys have got me pissed off on my racist tirades. Oh, now I'm not camouflaged. It's funny. Whenever I wear this jacket, I worry people are going to think that I'm like a hunter. Like I'm out hunting or something. I'm obviously a vegetarian. I wouldn't do that. I just like the pattern. I like the look. I'm a poser. Is there actually a direct? Well, it seems like there will be a direct. And apparently it's going to be announced tomorrow. That's the rumor. So we'll see if it happens. You look really good, Josh. Thank you very much, William. Wonky says, I'm bi and I cross-dress, but I hate the liberal agenda and I hate forcing it upon kids. Fucking music to my ears. God bless you, Wonky. Cross-dress all you want, be bi all you want. I think in this day and age, you will find most Republicans, and even most conservatives, I would say, we really don't care what you do on your own time. I don't care what you do. As long as you have morality. And nowadays, morality is something that is a precious fucking commodity. I'm ready for the spooky season. Oh, yes, I am ready for the spooky season as well. In fact, it might interest you, my dear boy, to learn that this Sunday, not today, next Sunday is my first official day in which I will be decorating for Halloween 2022. I'm very excited. On Saturday, the 17th, I'm going to be decorating my outside, my front yard for Halloween. I am going bigger this year than ever before. You might not know it because if you've seen the inside of my house for Halloween, it's decorated a lot, but I don't do a ton outside usually. But this year I'm doing a lot outside. I am custom making a lot of things. And so I'm very excited. I'm doing that on Saturday, decorating out there. And then on Sunday, I am going to be starting decorating upstairs, and that usually is about a 5-day process. Takes me about 5 days to finish that, but man, it is so joyous to start opening up those boxes, seeing the Halloween stuff, and listening to Halloween music while I'm decorating. And then at night, I go out and I have a cheat night where I get Culver's and I get a veggie burger, a large fry, I get a big pumpkin spice shake, and a big-ass Cokie. And it's just amazing. I'm very excited. And I'm going to do, hopefully, a lot of Halloween videos this year. I've got ideas. I've already started working on some. And so we'll see what I can manage to pull off this year. But I got some cool things. The Paper Luigi's Mansion thing is actually a Paper Mario Halloween special. It's not just Luigi's Mansion. And that has not been worked on for a little while because I'm full force working on the Christmas special. So I'm putting all my energy into the Christmas special, so that is done this December. And then in January of next year, I will be working on the Halloween one. So Halloween special will be next Halloween. I hate the Democrats act like not having kids and just having mindless hedonistic, what? Hedonistic? I don't know what that word is. Sex is natural, or that LGBTQ is natural, or that abortion is natural. Just got some caramel apple pops today. Oh, Robert knows what's up. Robert knows what the goods are. When did I become a vegetarian? I became a vegetarian 10 years ago, Reagan. It was March of 2012. So it's been a little over 10 years that I haven't eaten meat. And I'm not one of those obnoxious, preachy vegetarians. Obviously, I would invite people to try to not eat meat, or maybe choose like 1 or 2 days out of a week where you say, I'm not going to eat meat. I would definitely encourage that. But I'm not like somebody that's like, are you eating meat? You villainous scoundrel. But yeah, I love animals. I really love animals. I think they're just absolutely precious. And, you know, got to take care of God's little critters. And I know that by not eating meat, I'm probably not making much of a footprint on that. I don't want to like overemphasize my value in the whole thing, but are you going to see the new Pinocchio movie? Well, dear, I already saw it and I had a big ass rant about it. I guess I didn't really review the movie so much. I was reviewing Disney's racist hiring practices more than the movie. The movie is like, hey, do you want to see a kind of shittier version of Pinocchio? Yes? Okay, well, here it is. Just watch the original classic. It's much better. This movie has some good thing. I think Jiminy Cricket is pretty well done. I liked him. I liked his character. I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt, is that how you pronounce it? Levitt? I think that's it. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. The guy from Third Rock from the Sun. He does a really good job of that character. And also, whoever they got to perform Pinocchio's voice is really good as well. Tom Hanks as Geppetto, I don't know. I mean, it seems kind of like a nothing role. The problem the movie has, actually, is Pinocchio is very much for kids. Pinocchio is not really the kind of thing that I can see an adult liking to watch. Pinocchio, in a lot of ways, is a story that is designed to teach children about doing what's really right and listening to your conscience and being, you know, an upstanding American citizen. Well, maybe not American, it's based in Italy, but you know what I mean. It's a story about being an upstanding citizen and doing what's right. I think as an adult, you should already know that. So the movie's message is a little bit like, you know, why do you need to hear this? You're an adult, you should know this. So the point I'm getting at is like, because of that, a lot of the characters are very much there for the sake of teaching a child a lesson. And so as an adult, it's a little boring to watch. And when you look at it from like a film perspective, you've got a lot of characters that don't really do much because they don't interact with a lot of people. Like Tom Hanks is interacting with nothing. Like he doesn't have many human characters to interact with. And so it's just sort of a weird role. It's a weird movie to make a live action version of. But if you're curious, I don't know. I hate anti-candy corn people. Put some respect on candy corn. That's it. We're gonna go to war with the anti-candy corn people. I've heard enough of this crap. Which one of you bullies is talking poorly about candy corn? I'm gonna crush your head like I'm gonna crush this can. I'm gonna do that later. No, I actually agree. I love candy corn. And people who don't like candy corn are vile human beings. Joshy, I'm 100% fine with eating fish because the way you catch them is to pretend to be their prey. So technically it's self-defense. Wow. Chip, chap, chop. That is something. That is one way of looking at it, I guess, huh? I guess another way of looking at it, which would be the way that I would look at it, is that there was a nice, delightful little fish who was hungry, and they thought they were about to enjoy a nice meal, but instead, they had a giant hook sliced through their fucking throat, and then, all of a sudden, when they went back out of fear, it started yanking even more, and they didn't know what was going on because they've never had this sensation in their life because they're just a fucking stupid fish, so they don't even know what to comprehend, so they're terrified, and they're being drugged through the water, and they're desperately struggling, and they were like, I just thought I was going to eat something, I was hungry, and then all of a sudden they get ripped out of the water, which they can't even comprehend, like, out of the water. There's an out of the water? What's out of the water? How come I can't breathe anymore? Oh my god, what is this weird creature that's 100 times bigger than me, and they're picking me up and they're ripping this out of my throat, and now they just threw me in some bucket and there's no water, I can't breathe, what's going on? And eventually their brain just shuts off and they die. But I guess your way of looking at it makes sense too. But I'm hungry too. Get good, fish. My thoughts on harvest corn. I don't know if I've had it. Is that a type of corn that's food you eat? You just described why I don't mind eating animals. It's just a stupid fish. Most animals are dumb. That's not true. Cows are actually really smart. So are sheep. So are pigs, actually. Pigs are very smart. The lonely Goomba. I don't think the worthiness of eating an animal should be tied to intelligence. Is it just tied to the taste, the deliciousness of the animal? I don't know. My feeling is I've lasted 10 years without eating any meat, and I'm actually healthier than when I wasn't eating meat. But at the same time, I know that I'm not going to stop people from eating meat by lecturing them, so I just don't do it. This is the way I'm going to live the rest of my life.
These are my nostalgia goggles, everybody. When I wear these, I think Mario Sunshine is the greatest game in the world.
And then when I take them off, I think, oh no, that game's terrible. I like Mario Odyssey. Mario Odyssey is the greatest game. Actually, Mario Sunshine is pretty amazing. That's legitimately how YouTube commenters think the world works.
Oh boy, this guy doesn't like Super Mario Odyssey, and he loves Sunshine. His nostalgia goggles must be on a little too tight, know what I mean, fellow fanboys?
Mario Odyssey is for virginal incels. Did you survive the Splatoon 3 tweet? I'm assuming that's directed at Lonely Goomba. Anyone who eats a cute baby lamb should be jailed. There you go. Mara has it right. No, but I'm saying eating an animal just because it's stupid isn't great reasoning. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. You were sort of more on my side. Lonely Goomba, Demeech was once telling me that you were taking shit on Twitter because you were criticizing Nintendo for not finishing their games or something. Oh, okay. Good thing I remember because we got probably like another 20 minutes, but I have a list of things that I wanted to mention that are just random stuff. We did the Nintendo Direct predictions. We talked about woke Disney bullshit. We talked about the battle mode coming to Mario Kart Tour really quick. I'm excited about that, actually. Mario Kart Tour is not awful. The thing that made it awful was all the gacha mechanics, and those are being thrown out, and they're adding the battle mode. If they support the battle mode, that'll be really cool. I'll play that. But what I was going to say is I've got some random Joshy thoughts and updates. So there's one thing I wanted to ask, and I remembered this because you guys were talking about Splatoon 3. So I have a question about Splatoon 3 for people who own it. Did they remove a lot of the gear? More specifically, are there less shoes in Splatoon 3 than Splatoon 2? Because I've looked online for a list, because I would have assumed that data miners just put it all up on the Wikipedia page. And the Wikipedia page has like way less shoes. Like all the shoes from Splatoon 2 are not in Splatoon 3? Because that's a huge problem for me. That's like, oh my God, I don't even want to buy this game anymore. And and obviously Lonely Goomba just said it. It's so they can add it back later. So, like I really like the high horses, that style. I like the fake Doc Marten boots. And I like I like the strapping reds. I think those are in there. And then there's like a green lace version of those. But I noticed there's like missing shoes in the game. Unless they just don't have them all data mined or something, but I don't know. So I guess that's my question. Does Splatoon 3 have less shoes? Because why wouldn't you just take everything that's in Splatoon 2, put it in Splatoon 3, and then add to it? And I know, like Lonely Goomba said, and he's absolutely right, they hold back on stuff so they can add it to an update later and then be like, wow, look at all these free updates we're giving you. Aren't we great? And then you'll get the fanboys that are like, oh, it's so good. I love getting these free updates. Yeah, they're not free, dummy. You spent $60 on a game where they purposely held out content. Somebody says it feels like it's mainly flip-flops now. Yeah, I actually only like one new pair of shoes in Splatoon 3. And it's the ones that they seem to use a lot in the marketing. They look kind of futuristic. They're gray, kind of shiny. I like those. Those are neat. They're like a high top. Other than that, I don't like any of the shoes. They look fucking terrible. Some of them look like they're going out of their way to be as ugly as possible. I forgot that Splatoon 3 came out. I want Sluggers to be remastered for Nintendo Switch. I would be okay with that. Add a bunch of new characters in. But yeah, I don't know who's in charge of the style in Splatoon 3, but could they please be fired or moved to another department of the game's development? Because it's awful. They have like shoes in Splatoon 3 where it like looks like they're morphed and warped and the like laces are on the side and it just looks absolutely atrocious. And I know that I've seen that kind of style in real life, but no one wants that. It's horrendously ugly. It looks mutinous. You ever considered playing Monster Hunter? I watch a guy live stream Monster Hunter, and I used to watch friends play Monster Hunter, but it's not really for me. I like the game and I respect the game, but I just don't think I'd get into it. I kind of enjoy watching other people play it passionately. Nintendo should hire me to work on the style in Splatoon 3. Yes or yes. As the great Tim Dillon says, yes or yes. Can we expect any Halloween craft videos or new Halloween Etsy items? Yes and yes. You can. I do have plans for some fun Halloween videos. I'm already starting to work on some of them. Some of them are gaming related. Some of them are not gaming related. And the Etsy stuff I wanted to have ready for this live stream so I could say, hey, by the way, the Etsy shop is updated, but it's probably going to be another like 5 days. But yes, that is coming. I will post about it on YouTube. I'll put it on like the community tab on YouTube. Thank you for this. The Splatoon 3 style seems so different from the kind of teenage pop style. I get it's supposed to be anarchy, but come on. Well, that's the other thing. It's not even that anarchy themed. You know, Splatoon 3 is supposed to be like, oh, it's the apocalypse, but it's not really. I mean, the town that you play in, the plaza in Splatoon 3 is more advanced and developed than the plazas in the previous games. And this game is supposed to be like the end of the world as the setting, anarchy. You'd think you'd see like a lot more leather and vinyl jackets with like spikes and like dog tags. I had this idea of they should have added like a tattoo parlor to Splatoon 3 because it's supposed to be this like anarchy, you know, everything is chaos. So put like a tattoo parlor where you can go in and get like piercings for your Inkling and like tattoos on your face or the arms of the Inkling and stuff. Play up that idea of like Mad Max style thing. I also had this concept for Splatoon 3 where they were going to completely, this would be a big new thing where you actually make the weapons yourself. You're fusing parts together and you're making them and it changes up the statistics. And you get those weapon pieces by playing the story mode. You find them in the story mode as you're going through this like ravaged natural environment. You find them and you collect them and then you go back to the plaza and there's a store probably run by that little crab guy. And this time around, you don't just buy weapons, you fuse the pieces together because that would make sense. If it's supposed to be this chaotic anarchy end of the world setting, it seems like that's something you would do in the end of the world, like in the apocalypse. You'd be finding weapons everywhere you could because you'd need to defend yourself. It would just be really neat having that aspect to Splatoon. So that was one thing I wanted to ask about the shoes. It seems like I'm correct. There are less shoes in this game. Good Lord, help us all. Oh, this week I'm going to be filming more stuff for the Paper Mario Christmas special. I wanted to point that out just so you guys know I'm very much working constantly on that. Bowser's Castle. The inside of Bowser's Castle is to the, let me see where the camera is. It's there. It's to the left of you. Actually, you're right up along the side of the inside of Bowser's Castle. I can't wait for you guys to see this. This has like become the biggest project I've ever worked on. The amount of love and time and energy that is going into this is pretty large. There's a lot of set pieces. Probably more than what you would do if this was like a TV show special. Because like I was thinking about the stop motion SpongeBob Christmas, which I really love. And I was thinking about that and I'm like, oh my God, I think I might be to the point where I built more sets than that professional stop motion SpongeBob special. I think I might have more set pieces than what are featured on that. So I'm the next thing I'm building is the outside of Princess Peach's castle from Paper Mario. And it was a scene that I wasn't going to do because it's not really necessary. It's going to be legitimately like a 10-second establishing shot because then we see the inside of Peach's castle for a little bit. And I was like, well, I don't need the establishing shot. You'll know it's Peach's castle, but I want to see Peach's castle. Like I want to make it with all the snow and light. So I decided I'm going to do that. And that's what I'm doing next. The thing about Splatoon 3 is there's probably more content I haven't played if I go back to Splatoon 2 than what's in Splatoon 3 at the moment. The thing about Splatoon 3 is there's probably more content I haven't played if I go back to Splatoon 2. I don't know if I totally understand what you're saying, Goomba. Are you saying that Splatoon 3 actually has more content than you realize? Like if you compared it as in the missed updates? Okay. I can't wait for Christmas and the winter season. My copy of Christmas Nights came in. Ooh. I think we were talking about that before, Rye Guy. Remember, I think I mentioned that it was really expensive. Yeah, Goomba, I don't think I understand. I'm sure it's just me. I'm fucking morbidly idiotic. I'm not following. Are you saying that are you saying like, actually Splatoon 3 does have a lot of content and if we went back to Splatoon 2, we would notice that? Or are you saying that if I went back to Splatoon 2 after playing Splatoon 3, I would be very disappointed with how little there is to do in Splatoon 3? I don't know. Look at this. I got a pop. Ignore the fact that my phone is all cracked. I cracked, by the way, see that crack there on the bottom where my thumb is? I cracked that on the Woody Woodpecker coaster at Universal Studios. And the top there as well. Of all things to crack my phone, the shitty little baby coaster in the Woody Woodpecker section. Oh, but what I was actually saying is I have a skeleton pop socket. This is my first ever pop socket. I don't know how I feel about it. Because like sometimes it's handy, you know? But then other times it's like, get this fucking off my phone. It's annoying. It's in the way. So I don't know. I don't know. It's a skeleton pop socket. I have to like it a little bit. I'm saying Splatoon 2 had a lot of post-game updates, which I missed. So I might as well oh, okay, I see what you're saying now. So you didn't play through all the updates that Splatoon 2 got. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Reagan says, I love how passionate you are about your work. Thank you very much, Reagan. That's very sweet. The Japanese copy of Christmas Nights isn't expensive. That might be the way to go. I don't know. I played Nights on the Wii. There's a Wii game of Nights, and I didn't love it. And I was pretty gullible back then to where I would love probably more than I do now. Now I am a broken man who hates everything. So I don't know. Maybe I would like it. Maybe I just didn't give it enough time. Abe says Splatoon 3 spoiler. I did not see that, Abe. I did see the end. I did watch the end boss battle of Splatoon 3. I won't say what it is. Don't worry. But I did watch that. I won't even say if I liked it or didn't like it, but I did see that. Would I want to be friends with Captain Rainbow? I am Captain Rainbow. I have Nights on the Saturn and I don't love it. The camera is too zoomed in. Yeah, I'd have to go back and play it again. I remember I did have issues with it. Because I remember going into it being excited, like wanting to play it. And I didn't end up loving it. Okay, let me just go through some more of these random thoughts that I wrote down. I mean, these really truly are random now that I'm reading them. I don't know why I felt like I wanted to tell you guys this, but I wanted to say I really love when I drink a lot of water and I can feel that I have a lot of water in me. It just gives me this very clean feeling. Have you ever experienced that? Like when you drink water and you keep drinking it, it makes you feel kind of hollowed out and clean. And then you get to enjoy a nice long pee, like every 30 minutes. I don't know why. I wanted to tell you guys how much I love drinking a lot of water. Oh, last night I was in Walgreens and I was looking at like the Halloween candy and stuff. And I guess Walgreens has a partnership with Disney. And there are signs in the Halloween aisle that are promoting Hocus Pocus 2 on Disney Plus. And there's like an extra little blurb on the sign that says, "See Walgreens featured in Hocus Pocus 2." And it was like the dumbest thing ever to me. And it was so like, it just made me realize where the film industry is right now. Where it's like, why is Walgreens in Hocus Pocus 2? Why am I supposed to be excited about that? Like, I'm going to be in a Walgreens and I'm shopping and I'm getting like Halloween candy and I'm like, wait a minute. You mean to tell me that when I watch Hocus Pocus 2, I'm going to get to see the characters in a Walgreens? Wow. Walgreens with its like fucking bright lighting that makes it look like a dentist's office. That's exactly what I want to see in a Halloween movie. This is cool. And I bet they didn't even have the decency to like decorate the Walgreens to look like it's Halloween season. That's fun. I can't wait to see Walgreens. I didn't think Hocus Pocus 2 would be any good. I was like, oh, this is just for money and it's just fucking stupid. Why are you making a sequel to it? The first movie's good. It's cool. But you don't need a sequel. But now that I know Walgreens is featured in it, oh my God. Is Purina dog food featured in it too? We're going to get some more brands that we can look forward to seeing in this fucking lifeless, soulless, pathetic, worthless sequel to Hocus Pocus. And I love when I see comments that are, like, oh my God, all the witches, they don't even look like they've aged. Bette Midler still looks the same. Last I checked, Bette Midler didn't look like a corpse in 1991. She does now. Like, what do you mean they don't look? What do you mean they look the same? They don't look the same. They look the same, but 30 years older. They don't look the same, you moron. You can put all the witch makeup on them as you want. They clearly look a lot older. Lot older? That's what they say? They say they look a lot older. Bette Midler, there's a beauty. The water thing is relatable, to be honest. Yeah, okay. So, same. Sloshy Joshy. The Wii one has a bunch of crappy platforming levels with human characters. Okay. See, I don't even know. My point of reference for Knights is like next to nothing. So, I don't even know what they have done in other versions. The representation we've always wanted. Walgreens. That's what they should have replaced the blue fairy in Pinocchio, not with a black bald woman, but with a Walgreens store. All of a sudden, a Walgreens just comes plowing through Geppetto's workshop window and turns Pinocchio into a real boy. By the way, I'm just going to spoil this. You don't care, trust me. The end of the live-action Pinocchio movie, he doesn't even turn into a real boy! He doesn't even turn into a real boy at the end. He's still a fucking wooden puppet that can talk. You had one job that you couldn't possibly mess up, Disney, and you messed it up. Because at the end, it's just like Jiminy Cricket's just like, oh, and the story goes that one day, I almost said Peter Pan. One day, Pinocchio was turned into a real boy. But then again, I'm not too sure. Nobody really knows. That's what the legend says. It's like, what the fuck? We're in the final 30 seconds of the movie. You can't just turn him into a real boy? Oh, and also, just because why not be depressing, they decided that in the original animated movie of Pinocchio, Geppetto doesn't have a family. Like, he doesn't have a kid. In this movie, he had a wife and she died. and he had a young boy, and he died. So we're looking at Geppetto as this really sad, depressing character. He had a fucking wife, and she bit the fucking bucket. And then he had a little boy, and he's taking a dirt nap. So Geppetto's existence is just miserable. Why he hasn't killed himself, I don't know. Your wife and son died, and now you live talking to a fish and a cat in a shitty little workshop where you have tons of clocks? Good Lord. Why did you add that extra bit of depressing, unneeded nonsense to the story, Disney? In the original movie, I'm pretty sure it's just like, I'm Geppetto. I'm an old guy. I like being old and alone. I'm a bachelor. But I gotta be honest, I wish I had a boy. But I never had a boy. I don't know why. And so I'm gonna make myself a boy out of wood. Hey, it's my son. This one, it's like, I'm gonna make a boy out of wood because I'm morbidly depressed over the loss of my fucking 7-year-old boy. Why did you do that? You didn't need to do that. Anyways. Good God. I'm surprised they didn't show, like, the scene where the kid dies. I don't think they say how the son died. And I don't know if the movie's trying to imply that the wooden puppet of Pinocchio is, like, his son's soul has entered the puppet. Because, like, the way that it works is it's like there's this big blue laser that shoots in from the window, and it hits the picture of Geppetto's human boy, and it's like, and then it moves over, and then it, like, reflects at Pinocchio, the wooden puppet, and that's what gives him life. So it's like, is the movie trying to tell me that, like, the soul of Geppetto's real son was reborn into the wooden puppet? In which case, that doesn't make sense, because Pinocchio doesn't know anything. He's not like, Dad, it's me. It's me, the boy. It's your real human boy. Remember when I got hit by that car and died? Well, now I'm alive again, Dad, and I'm a wooden puppet. Mom's still dead, though, but I'm alive. No, he's like, I'm a fucking dumb wooden puppet. I don't know anything. So it's like, why did you do the thing where you ricocheted off the picture? It didn't fucking make sense. Just trying to use up the money for the CGI budget, I guess? I don't know. Holy Lord. How did we get a Pinocchio movie with Pauly Shore this year? Did we? I think I've seen some memes about that. If Nick had a son, he should name it Buff Peter Pan or Ugly Sonic from the Chip and Dale. Nick, as in Nick from the Bit Block? Mark Aaron Bright, that's what Disney characters need. More trauma. Yeah. We needed that scene where Geppetto is like going to bed at night. He's all alone, talking to the cat and the fish. By the way, there's also, see, this is the problem you have when you make it live action and like really big budget compared to just like the fucking movie from the 1930s, which was a cartoon. So like when you do the live action thing, there's a lot more questions that get brought up. Like, okay, so Geppetto is shocked that the puppet is talking to him, but in the world that Geppetto lives in, there's a talking fucking fox and a talking cat. And why is it that the cat, I forget the names, there's like, you know, the evil fox that tricks Pinocchio and sells him, and the cat. So like, what? Geppetto knows they exist. So why, and Geppetto has like a fish and a cat. Why can't Geppetto's, excuse me, it's all the V8. Why can't Geppetto's cat talk, but other cats can talk? I guess that's just a problem with animation in general. But still, when you make it a realistic thing, it just becomes that much weirder. But they needed that scene where Geppetto's going to bed at night, and he's blowing out his little candle. And he's like, oh, my wife is dead. And he's reminiscing about how she died. Show us the scene where she died. It's like, it's our anniversary. We're going to have a really great night tonight, aren't we, my wife, who's definitely not going to die tragically? Oh, yes, husband. I can't wait. Just gets hit by a bus. Guts splatter everywhere all over Geppetto. And he's like, why? And then it goes back to him looking up at the sky. We needed that, Disney. Why didn't you add that? The world isn't depressing enough in modern times. We need our escapism to be even more depressing. They probably made it so he didn't turn into a real boy, because it'll be weird given the context he made the puppet due to his dead son. I mean, it's already weird because he already treats Pinocchio like his son. It's really weird. I don't think he ever... Wait a minute. I could be wrong. I'd have to rewatch the movie, but Pinocchio sleeps in a fucking drawer, which is like, I get it. That's fun imagery that he's sleeping in a drawer, but, Geppetto, I'm pretty sure your profession is that you make things out of wood. Clocks, a fucking boy puppet. You couldn't make a bed? He's your son, and there's like a montage of the days going by where he's playing and everything before he goes to school. So it's like, you mean to tell me in like the week that you were just hanging out with this puppet that came to life, you're never like, I know, I'll make you a bed so you don't have to sleep in my fucking socks. Holy Lord in heaven. It also ends weird. I can't remember how the first one ends, but it ends where they're just like, obviously the whale. Oh, that's another thing. Good. The whale is a whale in the live action version, but he's got like a bunch of tentacles. They like just duct taped a bunch of extra shit onto the whale. Again, maybe my memory is spotty, but I remember the original whale just being a huge whale. He didn't have like a bunch of octopus tentacles and weird details and shit added to him. So it's like they were like, no. A giant whale is not a big enough threat nowadays. He's got to be some sort of weird mutant. And some of the writing just seems really lazy too. Because like when they get swallowed by the whale in the cartoon, it feels like they come up with the solution very like organically and it kind of flows. It's like, okay, they're going to get out of the whale's mouth because they're going to start a fire and the smoke will make the whale cough or sneeze or whatever and they'll get out of the mouth. So they like came up with that and they sort of paced it really well in the cartoon. But in this one, Pinocchio is just like weird. He's like, I know, we'll use a flame and we'll get out that way. Okay, I'll do this. And he just like rushes through it real quick. And it's like, wait. It's like the fucking big part of the movie. You gotta like let that go a little slower here. You can't just be like, okay, everybody's seen this movie already, so let's just get to the point. This was also directed by Robert Zemeckis. That's the dude that's been involved with like Back to the Future and Roger Rabbit and stuff. So this guy like knows his shit, but apparently not anymore. I guess it's kind of like Steven Spielberg. You know, Steven Spielberg's made some of the biggest films of all time. Jaws, E.T., Close Encounters, Jurassic Park. But like, what has he done lately? He doesn't do anything lately. Sorry, Steven Spielberg, not impressed with you anymore. Ha, you haven't impressed me with a new movie lately. You're worthless now, Steven. Bye-bye. Ha, I'm better than you, Steven Spielberg. Pretty sure you're the only person here who actually watched it. Maybe. That's possible. Well, now you guys have all watched it because I explained it to you. There's a bald black woman who breaks into Geppetto's workshop. There's a Jiminy Cricket is good. I always almost say Jiminy Glick. Now that would be a reboot. Why not do that, actually? If you're going to reboot these like classic Disney movies, why not actually, because they're already doing stuff that's absurd and stupid. Why not literally do it in like the dumbest fucking way imaginable? Like, yeah, it's just Martin Short being Jiminy Glick as the cricket. We just cast Martin Short. Fuck you. Pinocchio plays with feces. We did talk about that. There's a nice good shot of steaming horse shit in this. Can you do an impression of Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, or Goofy? I think I can do Mickey from the modern Mickey shorts, but I have to hear him first. Let me pull one up on my phone. My throat is a little worn out. But I have this thing where once I hear the character, if I haven't heard him for a while, then I lose track of the way it sounds like with Homer and stuff. Yay. Okay, let's hear him.
Oh, you wouldn't believe the amazing discoveries we've made here.
Donald, you wouldn't believe the amazing discoveries we found here. Yeah, well, this is kind of the more modern Mickey Moy. They use this voice for like the newer, weirder cartoons. It's not the classic Mickey. So yeah, that's a kind of I think that's in the territory there. But yeah, it's weird. They have that Mickey voice, and then they have like the more sweeter Mickey voice that we know. I don't know why there's two Mickey voices going at the same time. That also is probably way too loud when I did that. So I'm sorry. I apologize. Aw, shucks. I like those shorts. They're cute. Thank you. I do like these shorts as well. Abe, how did you see them? They're underneath the desk. Okay. Is there anything else I wanted to say? Have I offended enough people in this 2-hour live stream? We offended black people, white people, Mexican people, Indian people. We offended gay people. We offended cripples. Have I made fun of cripple people yet? I don't think I did. Well, that's for next time. Very excited to kick off the Halloween season. It's a beautiful, glorious time of the year. Have I talked about Disney Illusion Island? What's that? Oh, I did see this. This looks really low budget. It's got some very weird art style that I don't know that I like. The environments look really bad. Yeah, I don't know. Not really feeling this. Disney doesn't have money, so they can't afford to Remember there was like this period of time after Disney Infinity where Disney's like, you know what? Fuck the video game industry. Close it all down. They like close down their developers and all this. And they're like, we're not doing that anymore. Video games are dumb. We're out. And now it seems like they're trying to get back into video games. What else did I want to mention? We did that. Oh, I'm excited because I think Creepy Company is going to be introducing all new Beistel Halloween stuff because they are kind of past due. Last year, September 10th, they introduced their lineup of merchandise, and they haven't talked about it this year yet. I'm a little concerned that Creepy Company is not going to have new Beistel Halloween stuff this year. You know, like shirts, sweatshirts, pillows, figurines. I want it. So I'm hoping this week they announce it. If they do, I'm going to make a little Halloween-y reaction video. My first thoughts on that. But yeah, things are going good. Hopefully things are good for you guys. It's funny because when it comes to YouTube these days, obviously I ain't so popular. Oh, between the unbelievable racism and the hatred for Nintendo, it's hard out here for a playa. And so it's like I'm at this point where I'm just making YouTube videos for the fun of it because I feel like I kind of have to for myself. Like I want to make the videos. There would be a lot more than what there has been. There would be a lot more than what there has been if I wasn't doing the Paper Mario Christmas special. That truly is why there is not more videos at this channel. But I guess it's like when you work on something, though, when you put a lot of like effort into it, you obviously do want people to see it. Like when I make, I don't know, a Halloween related video, I'd like for people to see it. But I almost feel like this channel is cursed, or maybe I'm cursed. I see some channels where it's just like some fucking 60-year-old woman talking about what she bought at a Goodwill, and it's got 5,000 views on it. Meanwhile, I'm like, wow, I got 2,000 views. So what is going on? Why am I so morbidly horrible? All I did was rant for an hour about how black people don't belong in Disney movies. What's the matter? What's wrong? But I don't know. I think one of the problems, and some people warned me of this, there was an old sage that came to me in the comments and they said, you can't do this, Josh. You're not going to be able to make a channel that does whatever you want. People don't want a variety channel. You have to do one thing. And I was like, ha ha ha, get out of here. I can do it. I'm special. And now I'm realizing that was like me before. I'm like, I'm going to do a variety channel and I'm going to do whatever I want. And then you flash forward a couple years later and it's like, oh God, this isn't working. But I think they're right. I don't think you can be a YouTube channel that does whatever you want. You can't be like, hey guys, I'm going to be slutty and wearing a bunch of vinyl clothing in this style video. And then I'm like, hey guys, let's talk about the new Kirby game. And then I'm like, hey guys, it's Halloween season. Here's a house tour. And then I'm like, hey guys, here's a vlog where I skip in the rain. I just feel like audiences are probably like getting whiplash or they don't care. Like they're not watching it. They're not seeing it because they're like, I just subscribed so I can jack off to you in vinyl clothing, Josh. What are you doing talking about video games? And then there's other people that are like, wait, I just want video game stuff. Why are you talking about shoes? And then there's people that might be, I don't know. You know what I'm saying. So it's just hard. I don't think you can be a successful variety channel. Are there any? I don't know of any. Even stuff that's like Mr. Beast or PewDiePie, they're a variety channel. And it's kind of like, not really. They are doing something that is very clearly a theme. So it's like, on the one hand, I'm like, well, who cares? I have real jobs now. By the way, I run 2 businesses now. That's how I'm able to live. But for the purposes of cancel culture, I've been smart enough to not say what they are. One of them people probably know about, but I don't care. But the other one that's like actually my job, people don't care. Or they don't know, so that's the way it goes. And like when I make a video game, I might not mention that I'm the one that made the game until it's like sold 1 million copies. But yeah, I guess part of me is just like, well, I don't care about the views because I'm making YouTube videos because it's fun to me and it's like a side hobby. But then there is a part of me that's like, yeah, but it'd be nice if these could at least get like 2,000 or 3,000 views. Because like I said, I see channels that are like middle-aged people doing sewing or something and they're getting like 5,000. So why can't I get to that? What am I doing wrong? Is it like the tags or is it just like YouTube doesn't want you to do a variety channel? They're not going to recommend the videos because you're not consistent enough? I don't know. Racist Paper Mario special. Let's go. That's usually stuff you need to do on a second side channel whilst you have a main channel. Where you're a slave to doing the same thing over and over. Yeah, that's sort of the issue, Lonely Goomba. Obviously, I kind of feel like I'm retired from YouTube in a way. Because I did the BitBlock, and the BitBlock was actually very successful back in its heyday. But you'd have these times where it was like, I was very financially successful, and the views were good, and most people liked me, because this was before I, whatever. But there was this emptiness to it at times where it was like, let's make the 150th Animal Crossing video and pretend like it's the same as ever. And it's like, really, I was just starting to get like, well, what more could I possibly say about this fucking game? And I don't think I want that. I don't want that life back, even if it meant that I'd be making $15,000 a month again. I just don't want it. But I want to find a way that I can get a channel to do better than what this one is doing. I mean, I wouldn't, is it like, should I start a channel for everything? Should I be like, this is my channel for style. This is my channel for games. This is my channel for seasonal stuff like Halloween and Christmas videos. I don't know. That might be a bit much. But then again, I don't know. I just want to say that I hold the crown for being the first person to be canceled in the gaming community world. Was there anybody that was canceled before me? I can't think. I think there was somebody that worked at a website that was like mildly Republican and they're like, oh, you're fired. Who was that guy? There was a guy who was clearly not a leftist and he worked, was it Giant Bomb? It wasn't Giant Bomb. What did he work for? I don't know. He's dead now. Josh just making OnlyFans. Oh, that's coming, believe me. Oh, that's coming, believe me. I see your dilemma. Yeah, I see your dilemma. I'd have the same problem. Gotta be repetitive, boring, typical stuff. Yeah, I know. Well, because to me, it's kind of like, obviously people watch, well, I don't know if they do anymore, but people watch television, and you're not going to like, when you tune into a TV network like Fox or ABC, you're not going to be like, hey, Fox, what are you doing showing Family Guy? I don't want to watch Family Guy. I watch Fox for, I don't know, what the bloody hell does Fox have on anymore? The Simpsons or something, you know what I mean? Television networks are able to show drama, comedy, all sorts of stuff. So I don't get it. It's confusing to me. But I guess it's because YouTube channels are more of a direct personal thing that you feel with the person. So you might be like, well, I guess like I like Ashens. Ashens is great. But when Ashens uploads videos with other people, I generally don't watch them because I feel like, I like when Ashens is just reviewing tat on a brown sofa. So I guess I'm guilty of the same thing. I don't know. Just some final thoughts. But at the end of the day, I'm very happy. So it's not like I'm sitting here depressed about this channel doing so poorly. I do feel like we have a nice little community here. And I'm an American, which means that I believe that I'm just temporarily not a millionaire. It's sort of the American way where it's like, yeah, this channel is not doing very well, but it's going to eventually. It's a very American way of thinking, I believe. Just completely oblivious to any kind of reality, and you just think things are going to work out in the end. I'll get it to the point where it needs to be eventually. As soon as YouTube allows you to just make videos of your penis, I am going to be so popular. You're a Christian. Don't do OnlyFans. I'm going to do an OnlyFans where I keep my clothes on. It's going to be an OnlyFans where you never see anything sexually suggestive at all. And I'm just going to read the Bible and shame people. You can tell that so many Nintendo creatures want to smash their heads on their keyboards. I can think of some creators. Mara, I don't know. You don't need to. Mara corrected it and meant to say creators, but you might have been correct when you said creatures. I can think of somebody that I know of that probably really does not like doing what they're doing right now because it was at one point really fun and started to make them popular. But now it's like, oh my God, why am I still doing this? I don't want to do this anymore, but it gives me money. And so I guess I still have to do it, but I don't really want to. I can think of at least one or two people that are probably in that category. Total Biscuit? No, it's not Total Biscuit, Lonely Goomba. His name was... God, what the fuck was his name? I would probably know if I knew the website. You guys would know. Oh, wait. Okay, wait, it's coming to me. Kind of Funny Games or something? Is that a thing? I think that's it. Kind of Funny Games. There was a guy that worked for them. With the fat guy with the glasses. He wasn't the one that got fired, but he works there. Greg Miller. He was like an IGN person. Wow, it's like it's all coming back to me. I don't even know these people. I don't care about them, but I just know of them. So he worked with Greg Miller at Kind of Funny Games, and he said something that was like supportive of Trump or something, and they're like, yeah, you got to go. I remember. I don't remember the guy that got fired, his name, but yeah. Roger's Base in One Piece. No, it's not Roger's Base. I wasn't referring to Roger's Base. Roger's Base loves everything he does. Believe me, I've slept in the same room with this guy many times. I've been on vacation with him and other friends. Roger's Base, I can tell you, is exactly what he appears in his videos. It's disturbing. No, but he's the great, nice guy that he appears to be. He's probably a little bit edgier in privacy, but everyone is. Someone who makes Animal Crossing New Horizon content? Yes, that's who I was referring to. So, I'm going to go get food, guys, but thank you for tuning in. I had a lot of fun. Dark Rogers Base will come. I would love to see that. That would be something. But yeah, I think we covered everything I want to. So next Sunday, I'm not going to do a live stream. Even though I do want to do these every Sunday, I will not be doing it next Sunday because, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be putting up my Halloween decorations next Sunday. That is the 18th, right? Yes, it is. So I'm very excited about that. I won't have the time to do it. But next Sunday, we will be back. I'll have some more topics. We'll have fun. No, there's no jog tonight. Sunday is when I don't work out. I give myself a break, and I definitely needed this break. So, yeah. It's like a cool day. I did mention that because I had a jacket on earlier. But it's like 60 degrees out and raining. So, I'm loving this. I wish that this was what the weather would be like when I was decorating for Halloween. So, we'll see what it's like next Sunday. I'm excited for the Equals 3 movie starring Ray William Johnson. Okay, guys, thanks for watching, and God bless, and I'll talk to you real soon. I'm going to go make love to a Jimmy John sandwich. Where's the stop button? Okay, bye-bye. So long.